Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a while since I posted any videos. I think it's been actually about 3 months. That was back when I was just finished hatching out my geckos for the year, which I got 3 of. I'm gonna quickly do a tour around the reptile room, just like super fast, just to show where I've moved all my terrariums. That way, I can start off from there, and I'll do a bunch of updates coming up here, and I've got a few projects I'd like to start on. Hopefully I can do a couple big terrarium landscapes pretty soon here. I'm probably end up starting it today, and I'll give you guys some updates along the way. Maybe I'll do a how-to video. Hopefully we can figure it all out. It's been a little while, so I'm rusty. I've just been caring for my reptiles. I've been super busy the last few months, so just figured I'd say I'm back. Hopefully I can keep on doing videos consistently, and let's just go around the reptile room here. So firstly we got my bearded dragons over here. Z and Frank are doing fairly well. There's Frank having a munch on some greens and some squash in there. And then Z's up here. He's looking pretty good right now. Then I've got my whole bunch of plants here, just sitting here. And then next to the plants, I've got my Uromastyx. I'll just pull him out because he's been getting a lot more hand tame lately, not really running away quite as much anymore, which is really nice. But yeah, here's my Uromastyx mace. There's a little bit of a better lighting there. I really like the Uromastyx. Their tails are fantastic, very armored and really cool. His face is always got a little, seems like it's a little smile all the time. But anyways, moving on from Mace, that I just switched his terrarium over to sand, and I'm going to be doing the exact same thing for the beardies. Hopefully I can do some real live landscapes. I'd like to get some plants for the desert setups. So down here we have my 2 male leopard geckos, or 2 of my male leopard geckos. Here's Pi, who's been putting on tons of weight lately, even though the 3 legs kind of inhibits some of the hunting, but he's been running around very well lately, which for the time where Pi went off of food, it was really discouraging, and Pi wouldn't even take food that I put right in Pi's mouth. Right here we have Gator, my G Project male, who I'm hoping to make some beautiful geckos this coming season. All my geckos that are ready for breeding are super plump, keeping them very well fed this year so that I can make sure I get a few more hatch outs than last year. It was my first season and I only got the 3 eggs, which I'm going to move on to my 3 babies right now. So here's one of them who's a little bit feisty, biting me, but just starting to go through a shed here. This one's a high yellow mother and a bell albino father, and just pop her back in here. I temperature sexed all these geckos for female. This one here is the sibling to the one I just showed you, so this one's another high yellow, but once again going through a shed, and actually has a regenerated tail. Oh, trying to jump away on me. Get that one back in there. They're not totally happy to be handled these days, but they're getting a little better. And then here's my Max Snow Bell Albino baby. And this one will be my holdback. I'm probably going to be selling the other 2 locally. So I won't be shipping these ones anywhere this season, but hopefully in the future I'll start shipping geckos elsewhere. But right now I'm just trying to get rid of them locally, which is a little bit easier for myself, so I don't need to figure out the shipping process just yet. but I'm excited to produce geckos again this coming year. And I've got a little bit of a sniffle right now. I was sick recently, another reason I haven't been making videos. But moving on, down here we have my Bell Albino George, who I'm not going to take out right now because I've already torn apart his terrarium once today. And then next to him I have my ball python, who is I moved back into this terrarium because it's easier to care for her in a tub rather than in an Exoterra the way she was, and I preferred to use the Exoterra for Mace, my Uromastyx. So lastly, I'm moving on to my female geckos. Right next I have a terrarium that I'll be setting up. This one the Uromastyx used to be in, but I've got a whole bunch of containers to be washing today, so I'm going to be shutting off the camera here in a few minutes and getting those all scrubbed out. Probably take me a good hour cleaning all those things. I've got my 3 female geckos here. Here's my Enigma Cheese. She's doing pretty well. And she actually produced quite a few eggs this last season, even though I didn't pair her off with any males. So I'm hoping to produce some good geckos with her as well this coming season. Moving on, I think they might be both in the moist hide box here. Yeah, here's the mother of the Max Snow baby. This one's Roach. She's very, very healthy looking gecko. And then lastly over here, we have Indica, my oldest gecko, the gecko that started all my reptile obsession. She's a very, very healthy girl, and her babies are definitely larger than Roach's. You can tell they've got a healthy amount more weight, even though I've been feeding them all the same. So those 3 are my prospective breeders for this season. And then I should be getting a couple more geckos in the mail soon, and I'll be able to do some more new additions, or updates with new additions coming up anytime now. But we'll have to wait for those as the season has turned to winter, and it's a little cold for shipping right now. But I won't tell you guys any details about them. It's actually the beginning of a project that I've hoped to start since I got into keeping geckos. And I'm going to move out to my living room and show you guys my terrarium with my boa constrictor. So guys, this is a 150-gallon tank with a custom-made top. I built the top myself. Has a heating element hanging down in the top there, with a little vent on top, you can see. And I built this cage myself for the light, and the temperatures stay perfect around the high 80s, and then I have a rheostat that I've set up now, and I've let it drop a little bit at night. There's a huge water dish, but I'm gonna get her out of there and show you guys how big Aurora's getting. Nice locking latches on here. And Aurora's always been a very easily handled snake. She's never struck at me, not since she was very little snake, when she was about as thick as my thumb. I'll get her around my neck here. Yeah, there we are. And I'm actually considering getting rid of my ball python, as I'm much more of a boa constrictor person, and I'd like to invest my time in breeding my geckos and keeping the few other lizards that I really enjoy. And ball pythons just aren't the most exciting reptiles to me. They're a little bit a little bit boring. Not that they aren't for everyone. They're a very good pet. I just I prefer my bigger snakes, and the boa is something that I wanted my whole life, and I'm happy to keep one snake and not have to spend quite as much money feeding them. But I'm gonna make sure I find a perfect home for her before I get rid of her. I'm not just gonna give her away to anybody, because I still care about my snakes, even if they aren't the species I'm particularly interested in. But as you can see, Aurora's nice and big. She's about 6.5 feet long right now, and growing all the time. So, hope you guys enjoyed the update. Should be doing lots more coming up soon here. Have a good one, guys.